as we're now waiting on the grid.
For a good camera.
And the lights are coming out now. And we are away. Baggy Van has jumped the start, so he's going to have a drive-through penalty as Colin completely loses his car. Moldy shot through, as is Cohen. As behind there's a car park as expected. Oh, there's a big crash. As Scott Laney, Maxwell, Copkid, Jack, Cosmic Cameron, Ned Claw, Sprightly, all involved. As Scott Laney has been disqualified for the session for driving the wrong way. And yeah, I think just...
That didn't even cause a safety car.
Laney just lost. Laney just lost. Laney got kind of like squeezed into the wall a little bit, spun, and that's what happens when no ghosting is a thing. It results in people just having nowhere to go, and...
Oh, as we've got Colden spun on the bridge.
Oh no! There is a huge traffic jam. This
is what I was being done. That's what I
sneaks through on Scott, and yeah, this is absolutely
I jinxed.
Oh, Unreal Salmon has lunged it up the inside of Gregors, and he's failed. And Cameron's all the way up. I
said someone was going to probably spin in the bridge. And
I think we're on standard corner. I think we're on standard safety car, to be honest. But yeah, Gareth got a 10-second penalty for a big corner cut. So I don't know whether he just locked up or something and had to go straight on as Baggy is serving his drive-through as well.
Oh, he's just...
So the top four have a big lead on everyone else so far. Look at that.
Yep.
Geddes is in P5, but he's 6 seconds. Neelix up into P7. Cameron up into P9 after starting last.
Many people had to come into the pits.
Cameron and Russell, I think their uncle and nephew, are battling it out here, going through turn 1. Steve-O's got his way up into P11 as well. Yeah, these things just make it around these corners as Russell's lost the back end. Lost it a bit more, and I think is okay. Yeah, Colden has finally got it up with his pit box after his poor start and then his crash in the tunnel.
Scott is close to Neelix though.
Yes, he is clearly liking his finishes a bit more. Oh, as I say that, he just loses the back end as Cameron's gone. And Russell's in the wall as well. They're both in the wall.
Oh, as Neelix just had no braking. Going through the
the Gregors has gone, and Neelix has gone straight into Gregors, and there's
this is safety. This has it just can't be a safety car for this. God, they can't even race. There's people just causing incidents everywhere on the track.
There's
no way.
Jack is out, and there's many crashes, and
there's no way the game just allows there's no safety car. Like, nah, you guys are fine. Like, no way.
As the two Williams are going to have to double stack because they got caught out by that incident. That doesn't mean Steve-O's found his way up into P8. He stayed out of trouble, and he's doing really well. I mean, well, I have no words. I have no words.
I'm just surprised there's no safety car. Like, a lot of debris on the track, nothing. Oh god, like we've had a train in the
One person who probably doesn't have a clue what's happened is Jay Geddes. He's 7 seconds away from P4, but he's 9 seconds ahead of P6.
I think Skulker doesn't even know what's going on either. He's just minding his own, driving up there.
As another driver is out, that is Ned Claw has been hit. Skullkiller's approaching that.
As we've got Jester close to Karen. All the podium places.
Yeah, so far we have 3 people are out. As Fempest says, what a day, and yeah.
So we have 39 viewers watching this monsoon of a weather.
As why is Ned Claw's car? Ned Claw's car just took forever to disappear.
Yeah, it's like the game was deciding if it wants a safety car or not. It took that long.
And I think Maxwell might have made a mistake here because he's been overtaken by Sprightly. So I'm not sure when that happened, but Maxwell definitely had an off.
Pressure by.
And Steve-O and Maxwell.
Oh, Gareth has gone.
Oh, yep, Gareth is facing the wrong way. That's not ideal.
I just jumped on board to this four-way fight. Now it's only a three-way fight. Oh,
but Gareth has recovered fine.
There, he might just have a bit of knock or wing damage. But yeah, Steve-O seems to be struggling.
Yeah, he let Sprightly go, and yeah, I think he's just trying to get around as much as he can. Hopefully hold up time to help his teammate, who is running quite well at P8.
Jester's getting even closer to Cohen, but through the sector 3, he's not going to try over us, gas. Can he get the better traction? He's down the inside of Cohen, but Cohen has the better traction coming out of the last corner.
Steve-O and Maxwell both pick up corner cutting
behind.
Penalties in the Novel chicane, so that's gone deep as Gareth has gone deep again there. They're really struggling there.
It's now a 5.2 second lead. Skolka has adapted to these wet conditions very quickly.
Yeah, he definitely has, and has the advantage of not really having that much spray or people near him to trouble him. As yeah, Gareth's in the pit again. Clearly is not a fan of these conditions.
Just seems like Jester is quicker than Cohen through the third sector, as he gets him. He gets the traction speed coming through the chicane where Cohen doesn't. But in sector 1, Cohen is just a lot quicker. There's Jester's teammate behind is all over Russell as well. But he has, I think he's just knocked the wall. Was 2 attempts, three attempts off him, now he's a second. Must have knocked the wall.
Yeah, Mercer does. It doesn't look like he's got damage, but definitely lost him a bit of time. Steve-O's already 10 seconds behind Sprightly. As the yellow Sprightly has gone and
gone. Yeah. That's a right end plate missing. That has to just be traction as Steve-O's into the pits. Releases Maxwell.
Yeah, he still got damage.
But both Alfa Romeos are right next to each other, so team order's going to be coming into play. So there isn't really
maybe
much
they're both quite close to
let your teammate
Maxwell,
pass.
so
well, it depends. As Mac Hall save that? He drifted that corner. How did he save that?
Oh, he's really struggling.
Maxwell with the almighty save.
I think Cone and Jester are closing up to Moley a bit here, so I don't know whether Moley's picked up some damage. It's kind, but
It's polarized.
Cone and Jester are more confident this time.
And Moley might just be taking his time. No point. Pretty much guaranteed second anyway, due to it's very hard to overtake on this track.
Yeah, of course it could dry out at some point.
Yeah.
But at the moment it doesn't look like it.
Jester still stuck behind Cohen.
It's to repair his wing. So that promotes Baggy and Unreal Salmon at both upper position. Skullkiller's needs now 7.5 seconds. As Cohen's saying, as Lofty saying that Colden's at the moment. Thought he'd have a look at Gregor's, but he couldn't manage it. But Colden, I think, has the fastest lap at the moment.
I'll double check. Yeah, he does, yeah.
And him and Skullkiller are, their pace really fast compared
It's
to those
unfortunate
people.
he just lost it in the tunnel.
Yeah, Colden definitely would have been up there.
Yeah, it's a shame to see him spin off. The Alphas have still not swapped their positions. Oh, as Colden has spun around in the tunnel again.
Yeah, he likes
just
that
jump
spot.
on board of him.
Steve-O manages to safely avoid him. And now Neelix is going to come up to Colden at a reasonable speed.
Skullkiller has already lapped Cameron. Going behind his pack.
Yeah, Skullkiller got a 50-second lead on Maxwell, who's in P8. So... And the field has been spread out so much already.
Yeah, there's a lot of battles everywhere, but of course I don't have DRS, so it's very hard to even make a move.
Was... Yeah, kind of just waiting for something to happen at this stage. There's been so much chaos that it's just spread the field out massively.
Yep.
There's a flag. I think that's Colden again. Yeah, it is Colden again.
Yeah,
Colden.
yeah.
Colden is looking like the quickest driver on track, but then just makes
Not
mistakes.
under great of luck.
Just makes mistakes, and yeah, he's just clearly pushing the limits of these conditions, but he's pushing over them as well, and he's really struggling to keep the car on the track. As Cohen and Jester, I just saw Cohen and Jester both lose it at the back.
Yeah, I saw that too. As soon as I'm going to board with Jester, saw him wobble. As these guys are catching up to Molly actually.
Yeah, the gap was about 3 or 4 seconds, but yeah, it's come down a bit. Oh, there's yellow flag.
Ooh.
Who's that that's gone?
I think that's Cameron.
That is Cameron. Always reversed right back onto the racing line. Don't hit anyone. I think he's fine.
Like he did. Yeah. I think Geddes just got past him. Should have a nice gap.
Oh, and Baggy's gone. Baggy is gone on the exit of the Novel chicane.
Well, this doesn't release his teammate, so this is, I guess, good news for Salmon. He doesn't have his teammate in the way. Can start closing that gap, but back up to Maxwell.
Yeah, Salmon was quick in quality, so should be quick in the race.
Depends if he's confident enough in the work.
As Baggy, despite his crash, has decided to stay out. Obviously hasn't got too much damage from it. Right, he's going to be all over him.
I don't know what it is, but Cohen just doesn't seem to have anything in sector 2 or 3 and just to find something.
Yeah, you just get the feeling that if Jester cleared Cohen, it could go so much quicker than he is, but...
As he just clips the exit, just
just happy to stay ahead, stay behind. Oh, Spritey's gone again.
Very good for Spritey. Oh, has that Scott gone, I think? Has he got damage? I don't think he did. It might not have been Scott. So got a flag at Raskas and he was
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's really lost that much time on Russell. Or was Unreal Salmon?
Yeah, he's all over Maxwell, as I said he would have done. If Baggy Fan would have let him go earlier, he would have had Maxwell.
It's so difficult to overtake at Monaco, though, as Jest has shown. Yeah. He's got a lot of pace, but can't get past Cohen.
Cohen just find something in the last couple of corners that.
As I wonder whether the rain's eased up a little bit. The rain looks like it's eased up a little bit. It does
seem that way, yeah.
Like, I wonder whether Inters are maybe worth a gamble for some of these drivers.
Yeah, like some of the people that like Spritey, for example, that's in the pits now. Maybe try it, because it does seem like. It doesn't seem like it was when we were sitting in the pit lane. Like, it doesn't seem like it's hammering it down. Seems like it's a lot more calmer.
And yes, Spritey has gone onto the Inters.
Yeah, might be that time. As Maxwell has run wide. Oh, is it? It is Inters. These wet runners have just went on, like, they can't find anything. It looks like 100%. It's almost time for dries. It legit looks almost close to dries.
Yeah, I think Scott should pit here, but he hasn't.
It's that light. Some of this rain is.
Yeah, and it could gain you whole seconds if you pit for Inters here. Like, it'll gain you so much time. As Cameron has let Maxwell lap him.
Where Karen and Jester are, just the rain just like doesn't look. The track doesn't even look like it's wet either. Just looks like it's drying up. But they are going for the tunnel, which is the driest part. Yeah,
personally, I'm looking for a set of intermediates now, unless it's supposed to dry up fairly soon.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're Skull Killer, you think you've got everything to lose, so you wouldn't really want to risk coming in. Although it is probably time. Some of these drivers might just be concentrating so much on these conditions that
they probably just feel comfortable. Yeah, it's just still trying to get past Cohen.
Yeah, he's trying, he's not succeeding still.
I think this is the closest battle on track at the moment. It's Jester and Cohen, so we'll assemble with these.
As Klutzy said, he's really surprised there's not been more retirements. And apparently Cohen's running no traction control. And I'm looking on board with him, and it's throttle control, and yep, he definitely is, and fair play to him. It's completely different in the wet to the dry, but he's not spun it yet, and he's keeping Jester behind him, so fair play to Cohen, as Maxwell's decided to pit.
Yeah, very good throttle control.
And Maxwell is going for the Inters.
Yeah, the spray didn't seem as bad as it was either, so it's...
Maxwell did have to serve a 5-second penalty, but...
Yeah, I think because of that...
chosen now.
For Cohen not using no traction control, I think it's probably what's hurting him through the slow speed corners. It's probably why...
Molly's coming in the pits, as is Cohen, as is... and Jester decides to stay out.
Was thinking about it.
And obviously Geddes can't pit because... Geddes can't pit because his teammates come in. Oz Cohen's got a wing change as well, and that's potentially going to lose that position.
But it depends how much faster Inters are compared to these wets.
As there we are, most of these drivers are now flooding in the pits for set of Inter. Your tyres.
It's
Skullkiller should be safe here, but
very hard to tell.
bit of a risk.
How far is Moley? Moley is 28 seconds, but he's gay.
Axel seems to be stuck in the pits. Don't know what took him forever to release, but he's lost so much time. He's got way behind Scott.
Might be a glitch. It happened to Charlie once where it showed he was stuck in the pit lane for ages and then teleported somewhere on track.
Yeah, really weird, whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like in, what track it was, I think it was Spain. We looked legit, me and Merckx were just sitting on board with Charlie the whole time. And he wouldn't move
As, oh
from
no,
his,
Skullkiller's car is glitch. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
He didn't.
Oh no, we've got this glitch. This is... Please fix yourself, game, please. Because I think we have Italy from PSGL last week all over again, potentially, because some of these cars are just glitching all over the place. The pit lane is really bugging out big time. As Jester, interestingly, decided to stay out on the wets. So maybe he knows that it's going to dry out, and he's going to try and make these wets last all the way until when it eventually dries out. Very risky move from Jester, but I mean, if it works for him, then he'll be held an absolute genius. As Klutzy said, we don't need to talk about that PSGL race. I was saying it because it looked like this lobby would become that PSGL race for a second. It really did. I was looking at Jester's pace on those wets. I don't know whether he just had a lot of pace in reserve and is just showing it now, but...
Yeah, there might just be that one that they've...
He's still quicker than Skullkiller, so... Is this an inspired decision from Jester? As he sets the fastest lap of the race. He's still got pace in these tires.
This could make the question.
A Skullkiller's just about to lap his teammate. So, yeah.
It does seem, some part of these tracks does seem like there's not that much puddles on the floor. So
yeah, Cohen set the fastest lap on those inters, but yeah, I mean, Jester has no right to still be going quickly on those wet tyres, but I guess if he figures that he can stay ahead of Skullkiller, then if he can make it last to the dry tyres, then it could really work out for him.
Yep, definitely.
At least he's still got a massive gap to Moley as well, so even if Skullkiller does pass him, then he could have jumped up to P2.
Unreal Salmon was spun on the last corner, but no wing damage.
Yeah, he still kept P8 quite comfortably.
Big gap.
As Jester now finally decides to pit. And it is for intermediate tyres, so...
Maybe just...
He's obviously decided that...
How far is he going to be behind Cohen?
Because
Cohen is
paying off. Well,
Cohen
did have a wing change. Cohen had a wing change, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Jester has jumped him. Someone said if Jester can make it to the dries, then fair play. But no, he can't. He's gone out on a set of inters. But it is quite a fresh set, so maybe you'll be able to hunt down Moley.
Yep. Well, we know Jester was comfortable on the wet, so how comfortable is he on the inters?
Yeah. Div 2 Monza 2 seasons ago was absolute art, Connor. It was absolutely beautiful, that race. um, don't think you were in the league at that time, but
No, I was.
it was absolute chaos. It was absolute chaos. And there were 3 safety cars, like 10 retirements, massive crashes. I think I ended up winning the race, but it was weird. Felt more like luck than anything.
Yeah, Monza's a good track to drive on, and especially this game.
That's the fastest lap, and well, it's just opening out this advantage. It's now 13 seconds to Moley, and
yeah, it just seemed like the switch over changed it into didn't even phase Skulker. It was like, yeah, I'll stay. I'll wait for the guy in second to pit, then I'll pit. Which is the right way to go, but as soon as it starts to enjoy, you want to be in early. You don't want to give the guy in second the chance to catch you out.
ooh, thinking battle that could be brewing.
Or as Gareth was around.
It's
Russell.
Luckily for Russell, he has a 34-second gap to the car behind. So, and the car behind of Unreal Salmon spun himself. The car behind Unreal Salmon spun himself last lap, so Russell is still good at the moment.
Yeah, I forgot I couldn't see Gareth between the two McLarens. They just sandwiched him.
Yeah, a battle that could be brewing is the battle for P4 between Cohen and Jester. No, between Cohen and Geddes, sorry.
Yeah. Geddes from that switcher point is looking
Geddes has covered in quite a lot, and Cohen's hit the wall.
Cohen has, yeah.
Don't know whether he's got
could
damage
give him
now.
A probably like a
Geddes
yellowy
looks
green.
really racy.
Yeah, he looks like he wants to get up to speed. But also, Cohen is still trying to get used to that no TC, so we'll see.
As Jester sets the fastest lap of the race, and that's the fastest lap of a race by about a second. So he's absolutely flying on those newer inters.
Well, if it's
already found someone else.
Interweather now, how long are we talking to drive? Because the track seems quite a lot.
I was just on board with Jester, and Sprightly just went straight on ahead of them, but
as he came across in front of Cohen, which gives Geddes a chance to get closer.
Esquivo's now getting out of the way of Jester and Moley.
I said, Jester, that could be a fight coming as well. The fight for P2.
Yeah, Jester's found someone else to get stuck behind this race. He's clearly got one of the better paces of anyone in the field, but he just keeps on getting traffic.
Yep. One bad thing about Geddes, though, he does have a penalty and Cohen doesn't, so...
Yeah, it's just Cohen's just got to stay ahead, really, because Geddes' weapon is going to be opening that gap.
Yeah, just do what he did with Jester, just keep him behind him. Don't focus on the guy behind, just drive the guy fall into own mistakes. Just minimise your own in the meantime.
Sprightly's now in the pits again. I don't know whether that's for a new set of inters. It is. I'm kind of hoping that someone just goes for dries now, because someone outside the top 10, it's clearly not dry enough. It's clearly not dry enough, but it would just be fun. Like, someone should just go for it, because they got nothing to lose, and if they gain a load of time,
just do a lap with it. If it doesn't feel like in the pits, like you just. As it could. It looks like it's kind of the weather for like what we saw near the end of Q2, where there were some guys going around on the mediums.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite dry enough yet, but I think we're only about 5 or 10 laps away from dries.
Yeah, which could spice up the end of the race.
Still a lot of spray, obviously, and yeah, Jester Still can't do anything to get past Moby. He's hanging on in there in P2.
Which one? I think Moley does have more arrests than Jester though, so Jester using a fair bit trying to catch up to Moley. Yeah.
Skull Killer, like, he's got basically an entire
He's just in
pit
his
stop.
own.
He's kind of got an entire pit stop over these two behind.
He's in his own world right now, Skull Killer. If this is the most comfortable win he's ever had, then I don't know what will.
Yeah, clearly
fine
for the wet.
Yeah. Just hopefully the dry doesn't squander him. Hopefully his dry and wet pace is the same. As it should be, because he was the fastest guy in
All the yellow
qualifying
flag and it's Gregor's.
Yeah, Squawker's teammate. And just spun it, he is in the way. Oh, he's
in the way. I think that was Jester and Moley.
yeah, Moley was going for the racing line. Jester was just wondering which way is he gonna go.
Yeah, that'd have been horrible to see that battle end in a collision with someone who'd spun.
I think it's the way Jester wants to get past Moley. I think he wants to get past him on track, not through a pit stop.
As Colden has retired, and I think that is in the pits.
Yeah, that looks like in the pits.
So just pack his bags and say that's enough. Oh, Maxwell's gone. Maxwell has had a bit of an off in the hairpin, and he's lost. That's 2 positions, Maxwell. As Greg has gone for the dries.
Oh.
Gregors is the first person on the dries.
He's gone for it.
How does he manage?
Just do give you a fair amount of traction, so. And if the track is gonna dry it, then the mediums, you know, is definitely gonna go to the end if it does dry, so he doesn't have to pit stop again. He probably is gonna look like losing a lot of time. He is losing the race, so it doesn't look like it's much time for slicks, but
yeah, it's worth a go for Gregors. As I don't think he was going to any points anyway, so yeah, he's lost the position to Sprightly, and it's not time. Oh, Scott and Russell have come together. They're back over P6, and they're making contact with each other, and yeah, I don't know whether either of them have damage, but
just doesn't look like Scott has damage. Oh, Russell, I mean.
Definitely come together. Oh, it's Jester and Moley going side by side, and Jester's got the position.
The way, yeah, probably caught Moley out by surprise in a hairpin. But now Jester is released. As I think we got, is that
Cameron's
Neelix?
in the wall in turn 1 again.
Cameron, okay.
And he's really
I guess
not having a
Neelix
good
is
time.
the one behind. I don't know what was coming. Never mind. Neelix is behind Moley. I think it was like Karen, isn't it? Yeah. It's very hard to tell with these colours because like the Alpine, Red Bull, and Williams are all the same.
They're just the same colour. It's really annoying. Yeah, now Jester is freed from Moley. What is his pace like closing in on Skullkiller?
He is closing in, but he has 19 seconds.
Despite making an overtake, he's closed in by half a second on that last lap. He'll need about a second and a half a lap.
But yeah, Jester here.
Anything can happen here. If you could just simply put him under a bit of pressure, then...
Oh. As soon as Skullkiller's probably watching those lap times falling, and that'll probably make him look away from the racing line.
Spinned it into to back. We have another retirement. That is retirement number 5
Skulker
in the
is
second.
coming up to that.
Ooh,
What about is on track compared to... Oh, it has got cleared before Skulker got there. I think that's what happens to the lead. If the leader is there, they clear it. I think they wait until the leader is actually right next to the incident before clearing. Don't know if that's true or not, but
yeah, something
that's
like
what
that.
it seems like.
As I'm just looking at these
Russell
sector
and Scott
times,
again.
and Skullkiller's managed a 26.7 on that last lap. Jester is absolutely flying.
Oh yeah, he has gained 2 seconds.
And compared to the 126.7 for Skullkiller, Jester's managed a 125.5 apparently.
Yeah, Jester's that clean air has leashed him.
Yeah, he is. He does look like he is the fastest car on the grid by mile at the moment. Just whether he can close that gap. Oh, actually, no, it was a 24.4, fastest lap of the race.
Jesus.
Is this going to be too little, too late from Jester, or?
Well, yeah, as being behind
Cohen.
As behind Cohen for like half the race, squandered him for win.
Yeah, Skullkiller probably thought that his race was won, but Jester's made his way through, and potentially there could be a mistake in Skullkiller.
It could upset Skullkiller here as well. But yeah, it's one thing to catch up to the car around here, but it's another to get past them. So depends if it has enough speed to get past Skullkiller. But yeah, Jester is also on 3 lap.
As he sets another fastest lap of the race, and he's taken another 2 seconds out of them. This isn't over. This is not over. This is
no. This is going to go down to the wire.
He could do it. He really could do this.
He could even, if Jester comes into, like, if it does eventually out to slicks with enough time, he could get the undercut on Skullkiller here.
Yeah, I think he's got to probably be within about 5 or 6 seconds to be able to do that. So there's going to be a few laps left until he can make. Skullkiller is going to see that gap coming down and coming down and coming down, and
yeah,
he's going to need to up his pace a bit.
2 laps ago it was 19 seconds. It's now 13.
As Owen says,
seconds.
"Hello, here we go."
Scott has a twitch. Russell's going to go down the inside.
Jester is up on his previous lap as well. It's
a bit of a tussle before the hairpin. Russell is pushing Scott around these corners. It stopped raining? No, it hasn't. Okay. Weird game.
And Jester's another fastest lap. That is another and a half.
Okay, that was weird. Going through the end of sector, before the corner before the bridge, it was great. On my screen anyway.
I think it could potentially be time.
It's the same with here. Moley, okay, the game is bugged.
Looking at Skullkiller, it looks like his tire is overheating.
I don't see any raindrops on any screen whatsoever. Like, what? Is it dry? Is it? I need to check someone. It gets. Okay, this is weird.
I mean, there's definitely spray still, but
yeah,
maybe
I don't know if you're seeing this what I'm seeing, but like I'm on Monster. I don't see any raindrops coming down. I just see like, and that's it. Like the track is
it stopped raining.
Clean.
It usually means it's about 2 or 3 laps away from dries, but Jess has decided it's not time yet. And I mean, if he does pit, then he will come out behind a couple of cars.
Oh, DRS is enabled.
Get enabled. Oh, again, has missed a trick there. must be
But
said.
what I've noticed though is when the DRS says enable, the track just instantly super quick. It has already is dried instantly, which they need to fix this. Because if you go on board with these cars, there's like no spray no more. It's just they're like driving on a completely dry track.
And Scott and Russell are now coming in for a set of mediums. Sorry, Russell for a set of softs.
Yeah, this might not help Jester out here because he could have gone in early. He had the chance because Skullkiller had nowhere. He was too far.
Skullkiller has had to stay out because his teammate has just come in the pits.
Oh, this could open up for Jester now then.
Yeah, Jester's going to come in now. I don't know whether he's going to maybe get held a bit because Scott has just come in the pits. We'll have to see. No, but it looks like a regular pit stop. Skullkiller is going to have to drive an entire lap.
I'm going to go on board with Skullkiller and just see his in-lap. See if he makes any mistakes on his in-lap.
We need to keep an eye on this gap. It could come flooding down if Jester has a good outlap.
Yep, well I think it's like a 24-second pit lane. Was it less?
So it's probably closer to about 20, yeah.
Yeah. But that gap
here
is
comes
dropping.
Jester. This gap is coming down. The gap is coming down. We said it wasn't over. This would be right from Jester if he can close this gap down.
Yep. He might not have lost too much time. But it won't be.
No, he's losing tenths on tenths on tenths. It's gone out by 2 seconds this lap already.
Yeah, it won't be like
he is able to pit.
Jester getting past. I don't think it'll be probably Jester within a second of Skullkiller here because it is still coming down. Jester is coming to the sector 3 now as he sets the purple sector, but that's only because of his outlap. Next lap probably be his fastest lap. And Will Salmon has done is that a 122?
Yeah,
I
122.
think it is a 122. Yep. And yeah, Skullkiller has made it out.
Yeah, the gap's now only less than 5 seconds. And if Jester closes in by the rate that he did on the wet tyres, on the dries,
yep,
then he's before the end of the race.
All settled in now. They all are race paced up where Skullkiller has to get his tyres ready. So Jester has got an advantage, but does have a bit of traffic. Which I think it's... Is this Baggy or is this Unreal? I think it's Baggy.
Yeah, it's Baggy. Russell now has DRS on Scott and is maybe thinking about making a move. He set a fastest lap of the race. It's the yellow flag in sector 2.
As yet, Russell, Baggy lets Jester through. So the gap is now 3.6 seconds, almost 3.5. It's now 3.3.
Oh, this is...
Skull could have made a mistake. Yeah, Skull could have made a mistake. He went too deep.
Oh, this is going to be tight for this race.
Yeah, it's just to gain a second.
Smashed in the fastest lap of the race. Jester can see this victory. There's 8 laps left, and...
As I don't even know if Jester or Skull could have picked up any warnings.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe the gap 5 laps ago was nearly 20 seconds between these two.
Yeah. It just what could have Jester done if he got past Cohen quick enough? Because you would have think he would have been even closer to Skullkiller. He could have even got him through the pit.
You got to think where would Geddes be if he'd have actually made that stop that lap earlier.
Yeah.
That's now less than 2 seconds between Jester and Skullkiller.
Yeah, the gap is coming down. It looks like
Skullkiller's gone wide.
Oh,
Skullkiller's made a
he's
big
done it
mistake.
again.
He's made a big
He did
mistake, and now
that last
Jester is
time.
right on. 8 laps left, and there is nothing separating the top two. Jester has
He's
all the
even going
momentum.
quicker.
Skullkiller was miles ahead. He had this race won. He had this race wrapped up. Jester was nowhere, yet all of a sudden,
Both Jester and Skullkiller have no ERS.
Yeah, he's got through that traffic, and now Jester is just less than a second behind. It's one thing to catch at Monaco, and it is most definitely another thing to pass. But Skullkiller is definitely feeling the pressure here. The gap is less than a second, and including this one, there is 8 laps remaining for Jester to try and make a move.
I always believed that Skullkiller would have had an easy win here, but it turns out Jester's here to ruin the fun. Skullkiller's race is not over yet. He can't settle down. Jester's gonna push him to the end. Probably force him into his own as well as he did in Raskas. That's got a mistake going through there and made Jester catch up.
Got so much more confidence. But as you said, he's just not got the battery at the moment.
No.
If Skullkiller can just get a good exit out of final corner, that is all he'll need to be able to stay ahead. As he responds to that by setting the fastest lap of the race. So there is still pace in, and he wants the pole sitter, of course.
I don't think, to me, I think the straight line speed setup, because he loses a lot of time in sector 1, but then sector 2, he just takes 2 and 3, the cornering sections are just, he's there with them, the slow speed corners.
All's Cohen and Geddes. Geddes has taken the position. Geddes is up into P4 to Cohen. Move around the outside of time.
Is Cohen going to be able to respond? So they both got the same amount as Maxwell, but in front of him has had a bit of an off. But he's still going. Yeah, Jester again is now within DRS again. Oh, as he doesn't get it. He was just out of the DRS range.
Yeah, it's like Skullkiller. He's tidied himself up, put himself together, and found a bit of pace from somewhere.
Skullkiller isn't going to make this easy for Jester. Which I wouldn't either, because I knew that if I was going to win this easily, but then someone comes down, I would not lose it. Because he did all the hard work in the wet to keep out the wall. Just now the Mother Nature has just given Jester a lovely advantage. Because Jester's been stuck behind Cohen, so he's had a bit of used to getting stuck behind cars. Where
he hits the wall a bit. Is that damage for Jester, and is that potentially a mistake that's going to cost him this victory? Or at least a shot at it?
Doesn't look like he's got any wing damage. But that definitely lost him a second.
And yeah, Skullkiller. He's brilliantly found a second wind here.
There's Gareth on Baggy. Gareth got a lot more ARS. He's on the soft as well. Is he going to try and go for an inside overtake on hairpin?
Yeah, he's got a hell of a lot more ERS.
He sticks behind him. Might see something down into the chicane. Because he's on the soft, he should have the better track. He uses the ERS. Yeah, he's looking.
Is he going to wait, or is he going to go?
He's going to wait. As he's probably going to use the DRS, use the advantage. So he doesn't need Bagfan to get the DRS next.
The gap between the Skullkiller and Jester's gone up now, so...
Yeah, as Skulker has now lapped his teammate, so this could even come back to play. Maybe we could see Gregor's hold up just a bit before getting a penalty for blue flags.
Yeah, I think Skullkiller's got the pace though. He's
Yeah.
clearly was not confident compared to Jester in those intermediate conditions. But once he's put on that set of dries and got on warmed up, got into a rhythm, he's shown that pace that got him pole position.
Cav has to stick behind Baggy another lap. But is he going to try it here? He doesn't use any of his overtakes. Going to wait for the DRS again. Drivers will be taking it cautiously because they're in the points. Like, one bad move could end them out of the point at this point, and there's not a lot of laps remaining. Is this Gareth going to get the job done here?
Yeah, he's using a lot of battery. Baggy defends the inside, keeps the position.
Baggy just has a straight line speed. As the game is not giving the best camera angles.
I think Jester must have got damaged because he's dropped far behind Skullkiller.
That wall might have just given him like a yellowy wing, but we can't see it visibly. Might have just like nudged the end plate a bit, so it's in real life probably be flapping, but in the stay still as a brick. As Baggy has hit that inside curb.
And Gareth's taken
Great job from Gareth for missing Baggy there. As the top three are the only people that haven't got a penalty. Love to see it. As did Baggy fan get side damage.
Oh, there's a crash between Maxwell and Neelix and Sprightly for P11 and
yeah, just
they're 40 seconds off P10, but come together.
I don't think Baggy got any major damage from that incident. Don't think he got any floor damage or side pod damage. Doesn't look like it. Because he's not losing that much speed to Russell, but I think
Maxwell has no wing.
Oh god. So he's definitely going to come in.
Yeah, Maxwell is coming to the pits. Frees up Neelix. If there is a crash in the top 10, Neelix will be able to...
Yep. As he had to serve a penalty as well. I think that was a 5 seconds. As we got not really that much close battles, still Russell, Baggy.
Yeah, like these people outside the top 10. No, these people outside the top 3 have got a lot. They've had a lot of penalties this race, so the question is going to be who's had the most and who's had the least. So who's going to come shooting on?
Oh, both avatars are going to lose out here. Gareth and Russell.
Yeah, Russell was 24 seconds.
24. This is.
Russell has always been a bit of a penalty merchant, it must be said. This is the other flag, and that is Sprightly is round. He has collected the wall as well, and Skullkiller's come through. And Skullkiller's in the final corner of his final lap.
Yep.
He had a massive lead. Jester brought it down, but he withstood the pressure to take the victory. deserved victory from Skull Killer. I'm pretty sure he led every single lap of this race. Apart from a few where Jester stayed out on those wets, of course. But he led the far laps of this race, and it looked like Jester had the momentum, but Skull Killer recovered and got the gap up and got that victory.
Good weekend for the Red Bulls.
Yep. Good drive from Jester, as he did manage to get past Cohen and Moley on track, of course, before coming very close to potentially winning the race. But it was not to be. It was not to be a second successive Monaco victory.
From, Scott as well, coming home in P6.
And yeah, we have Moley in P3, obviously. Another podium for the championship leader, although Skull Killer might have taken that, I'm not so sure. And then Geddes in P4, I think that is an SLR best result for Geddes. With Cohen and Scott, the other drivers, in the lead lap. So who's your driver of the day? Stream at chat. The game's given it to Russell.
After having 24 seconds penalties.
He did start in 17th and finished 10th, but I mean, my personal driver of the day, it's a difficult one.
I think I would have given it to Jester drive, the comeback drive, to close the 19-second gap.
Yeah, I mean, I'd personally give it to Skull Killer, because even though Jester obviously tried to close in, it was not enough.
Yeah.
Yes, so can all of you remember to include your audio on the stream? And we'll do the podium interviews. So
I put a towel on, bro. It was a bit freaking wet out there.
Yes, it definitely was. So yeah, have you got your boxes ticked?
Yes.
Oh, Jester might have had an issue with the party or something. But anyway, we'll start off with P3. So, Legend, you said you were going to do P3 and then I'll do P1 and P2.
Mm-hmm. Alright, everyone's ticked the box, yeah?
Yes.
Cool. Alright. Yeah, we'll go to P3. Moley, you had a great qualifying. The race, you was pretty much P2 for out of it mostly. Until and then Jester magically found some pace and took the P2 spot. But tell us from your perspective how your race and quali went.
First, I'll say congratulations to these two. They were absolutely fantastic throughout the entire race and truly deserved 1 and 2. Qualifying, I probably had 3 or 4 more attempts in the car. It wouldn't have got me P1, but it could have got me onto the front row. But I just couldn't link it up on the final couple of laps there. Race-wise, again, just got lucky that Colden bogged down for the start, managed to get around the outside there, get into P2, drop a bit off Skull Killer so I didn't have any spray, and just plod around there and keep her out of the walls. As you said, Jester was always going to get me the pace. He was fantastic on those wets and the inters, so I knew it was coming. It was only a matter of time, and I nearly put it in the wall when he went past. I got very lucky to stay in the race.
Well, congrats on your P3, mate.
Thank you.
Yep. Now to Jester for P2. Well, at one point it looked like you were kind of being held hostage behind a couple of cars earlier on in the race. Oh, he's just disconnected from the party again.
Yeah, he says his party chat isn't working.
Oh, well then we probably won't be able to speak to Jester then. It's not working.
Unless he puts it in chat and we can read it out.
We'll try Skull Killer first, and then if Jester can join back, then we'll speak to him. Otherwise, we'll have to skip. Well, Skull. I mean, you pretty much led the entire race from start to finish, but after having that relatively decent gap between yourself and the cars behind you, how did you feel when Jester started closing in? And did you always have a bit in reserve in case he eventually caught, be able to keep that lead?
I always knew Jester was going to have some pace on me, but I always kept the ERS already waiting for him to get near. Then I'm just going to bolt it.
Yep. So talk us through qualifying. Like, obviously got pole position by a few tenths. How do you feel? How do you feel that went? And did you think after qualifying that you could win the race? Obviously, Monaco, it's very hard to keep out of the barriers.
When I did that qualifying, I didn't expect to get that time at all. I was expecting to get a low 10, not a 9.8. But after that, I knew it was going to be on the podium at least.
Yep. And then how did you feel near the end of the race, like when the gap started opening up again, and just a few laps, thinking about the victory?
Happiness. The whole way, happiness. Just glad I didn't put it in a wall. Glad I managed to make that gap back up, but just happiness.
Yeah. Great drive from yourself, and also additionally, I guess the question would then be: you've had 2 wins from the first 4 races this season. How do you feel about potentially, well, the championship as a whole? Are you thinking about that too much, or are you just thinking about race by race?
Race by race, to be honest.
Yeah. Good drive from yourself, anyway, and to win Monaco is no mean feat. And now Jester. Well, hopefully your audio's working and you can hear us and the party's working. Yeah. Yeah. Did you have the box to tick? Yep. Cool. Well, yeah. First few laps, it looked like you were kind of being held hostage a bit, but once you broke through, it looked like you were the quickest car on track by a mile. But then all of a sudden, near the end of the race, it wasn't quite to be. Like, just describe your feelings through the race. It was kind of a bit of an up and down one pace wise. Yeah. You've gone through that entire race, wet to dry at Monaco with no damage and P2. I mean, not quite the win lights. Yeah. Yeah, not quite the winners last year, but are you still satisfied with P2? Yeah, and I think you've been yeah, and I think you've been awarded with Driver of the Day for your performance, making those couple of moves. And yes, I think that is going to be that. Well, Division 3 had more finishes, well, it had the same number of finishes as Division 1 and Division 2 combined. So, that's despite the rain and everything. So, yeah, so um, cautious, steady, wins the race. It seems like well driven from all of these drivers who finished the race, let alone those who finished it in the podium paces. And please join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. for the McEwen division, which is, I'm sure, is going to be a hotly contested race. And thank you all for watching.